This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I already had to talk to Tevin and AJ that unlike in Michigan, on this show you can't chant death to America. If that's okay with you guys, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I think that's a rule I can abide by.
Yeah, I mean, I had to put my signs away, but
your signs, yeah.
He was doing a little arts and crafts over here.
What pair of seeds do you have? You're invited to go to another country. You're given a life. I'm not saying you didn't earn some of it. That's not what I'm saying. And you're chanting death to America? What? Where does that come from? I mean, where does that kind of hatred come from? Because for somebody that's done everything to benefit you, why do you still hate them?
Are we sure it wasn't like a spelling error or like the name of like a person that he just was like quarreling with first? Are we sure it was the country?
Yes.
Okay.
Death to Mary Call. That's what they were saying. I just don't understand that. Someone's nice to you, so you piss all over them. What? And it's all, I suppose, because I'm guessing here, but I'm sure it's the support of Israel. That's what the big problem is here. But we support them at the same time, do we not? I think.
yeah, it looks like there was a video that said they were chanting death to America and death to Israel.
So it is. Yeah, it's all tied. Death to America, death to... How about every other hour, death to AJ, death to Tevin? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I get.
But I have to chant that. That's the whole problem here. No, the reason I'm even thinking about that is because I saw that. And then this morning on my walk, I did notice something that people, and this does make me sad, that as this goes on with the death to America and the we hate this and you're a racist and you're this and you're that and blah, blah, blah. On my walks in 6 months, I've noticed people are getting more and more and more enclosed. As you walk by them, they literally will avoid walking next to you. They will not make eye contact with you. They certainly won't say good morning. People are getting more and more frightened, and therefore they're getting more and more angry. That is a very dangerous precedent right there. People are going to start getting, they already have started getting extremely violent, but it's going to get even bigger. We got to do something about our leadership. It's dreadful. And I'm talking about across the board, man. We need somebody, instead of going, you know what, AJ and Tevin suck, I should be the deal, and you just, I don't need to hear that from Biden or Trump. Shut up. That's very poor leadership, don't you think?
Yeah, really anything that's, comes from a place of hate and we need to tear somebody else down. Like, you can be, if you're, pro Palestine or pro Israel or pro whoever, it doesn't mean you have to automatically be anti the other person. You have to, because you're going to need that other person to come to the middle with you to have a conversation. So you can't, not everything needs to be hate based.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of the conversations you do hear and see are like combative. It's not how can we work together. It's, I'm standing my ground, and there's nothing you can do to change my opinion. I'm not willing to give an inch. So that's where you're right, Tom. I think, maybe we just need like a full clean slate where you just get a new generation of politicians in there, or like, who knows where it starts.
Did you hear what he almost said, Tevin?
Nah.
Well, what did you say? You said, oh, never mind. I can't do it to him. It's too nasty.
Okay. No, I mean, that's fine. I can take a punch.
No. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So, it's not. I decided it wasn't funny. Therefore, I wasn't going to go with it.
Okay.
I was running it through my head. No, the one thing that I literally you'll never hear death to Tevin, death to AJ on the show, even though we work together and we got the same goal. No hollering death to anybody. Just shut up. How about that?
Yeah.
And the thing about that too is it's hard to chant with just one person. You ever try to do a chant?
Oh yeah.
Let's go Twins. Let's go. And then after the third one, you're like, nobody else is joining me. I feel stupid.
Well, it's because death to the Twins. People would probably get you to join that. But although they won yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah.
So what do you think, man? They won a game. That's pretty damn special. No, I just I was noticing on my morning walks that it's getting, because I make eye contact with everybody, because I learned that as a kid. And somebody's coming by you, make eye contact with them, because you can figure them out much, much more easily if you look them in the eye. So I look at everybody. I don't stare at them. I glance over at them. And very, very few people will make eye contact with you. And even fewer would say good morning to you. Some do, but not many anymore. People are terrified right now. And I suppose that does make sense, doesn't it? That people would be, and it doesn't matter where you are, they're scared to death. And I don't think it helps. Like I said, I don't like this. Well, that Joe Biden's the worst president of all time. Well, that Donald Trump is an evil being and he should be executed. What good is that doing the country? You're trying to make yourself look better by calling the other guy the devil. But why don't we, because you're president and you used to be president, why don't you both focus on the good things ahead in America instead of how much you hate? I'm going to start chanting death to Howard Stern just because he's a morning guy, and we're going to battle it out. It's going to be terrible. Well, he did do that for a while, I never heard it, but for a while, I guess it was death to Tommy. But then Tommy whipped his ass for him. Hey, Howard, how's it going, bitch? But yeah, why do you want to? I have this wonderful wife and great kids and great grandkids, wonderful friends and coworkers. Why do I want to be crabby every damn day? I don't.
I appreciate you roping Tevin and I into
that. I meant everybody but you.
No, okay.
I meant Chris Egert and Kristen.
Yeah, Chris Egert and Kristen Bird. I was talking about, not you two. So that was, and you can forget Judd. Yeah, I'm never supporting him. I just, But let me ask you, because it's a different generation. I am very sensitive to how scared everyone is, and they should be. I understand why they are, because people are crazy right now. But does that make you feel tremendously sad, like it does me?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not sad, but like what I don't know. I guess everybody, like, as far as being scared, a lot of times too, it's because I noticed if you ask somebody how their day is going, most of the time it's oh, good, how are you? And we just kind of keep it moving. But now I feel like people have more of a tendency to just unload their whole day on you.
And
you're like, good, I didn't have time for this therapy session. So I try to just look down and keep it pushing.
Well, that's a good point.
That might have a little to do with it as well.
I mean, that is a good point. So I don't know. It's poor leadership. And I'm talking, is there anything in the world that's not about money anymore? Everything is about money.
Right. And especially with the presidents, because people be like, oh, my president didn't win, so now Joe Biden, not my president, Donald Trump, not my president, type of thing. And it's like, well, maybe if you show some support, because at the end of the day, we all still have to live with whoever is or is not president. So let's try to make it a little bit better rather than just complain. Because after seeing, how hard everybody tried to get Trump impeached, like that didn't work. So there's probably never going to be a president that gets impeached unless it's, something short of like murder or horrific war crimes. So why don't we all just strap in for the ride and try to help whoever is president get some stuff accomplished?
Well, I was joking around about Howard Stern coming to the market and all the rest of it. Instead of going, oh, I hate that guy, he's a terrible human being, going on, television and calling him names and all that. I never did any of that stuff. It's like, we'll see how it works out. And if I lose, then I'll go work somewhere else. Right? And if I win, hey, great. That'll all work out. Why people take this, I have to be angry and hate someone. Why? Cut the comedy. Do you hear me? I mean, I don't like Judd, but I work with him every day. Right?
Right. Yeah. It's the price you got to pay.
The price you've got to pay. Matter of fact, we'll take a break here. We'll be right back with the very hateable Judd Zulgad. What do you? He's a terrible person. Let me just tell you. Yeah, whatever, both of you, shut up. In addition to having the best selection in town, K&L Surplus and Ammo also can help you sell your firearms safely and, most important, worry-free. If you've inherited a collection of firearms from a loved one, maybe you don't know what to do with them, or if you have guns you're no longer using, that kind of deal, well, call Jim at K&L Surplus and Ammo. Jim can help you sell those firearms safely, which is very important, obviously. Don't be messing with firearms. You can do it safely through consignment and auction, which is a great way to go. I know Jim's extremely knowledgeable, help you get top dollar, which now we're talking. He will help you explore all the options and take the work and stress off of your shoulders. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lina Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. You can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Lindell and My Pillow employees. I want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. Couldn't get by without you. To thank you, here's what the deal is. They're having an overstock clearance and new product sales right now, matter of fact, for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM, which you have to, remember we had a talk yesterday. It's very important you do that now. Tell them, I heard about it on a Tom deal. It's a big deal in the industry now, I guess. You get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets just arrived. Won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses, mattress toppers. They're 100% made in the USA, which is always a good thing. They're on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale, as a matter of fact. The brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Don't let Judd on. Oh, wait a minute. You already did.
Oh, it's too late.
What's happening, Pally?
Did you hear the huge news from Target Field yesterday?
That the Twins are moving out of town?
No. Twins are not going to move yet. Not going to. No. Cue the light, happy music, yes. My man. 3-2. The Twins won the game.
The big win by 1 run. Mm-hmm. Hey, it's a win. A win's a win, baby.
Mm-hmm. You take what you can get these days, man.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah, that was a day game, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so they won it. Oh, there it is. Light, happy music.
Hey, Jake, coming through. There, light, happy music.
Where the hell did I ever find that? I don't even know if I found that. Maybe it was, I don't know who found that. I have no idea, but the light, happy music worked very, very well. You know, to this day, it's funny you bring that up because I got a post from Facebook yesterday from this guy who said, "I'll never forget, Tom. You were the only person in town talking about the Twins in 1987. I mean, I love that. You're talking almost 40 years later, and he could just remember that I was the only one that was talking about the Twins.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, you certainly talked about them the most because there was no, sports station at the time. And
nope.
Your show was, you and Rosie were talking a lot of Twins at the time, and it worked out perfectly.
Rosie. It's unfair. Nobody should be 6'6" and be a sports guy.
Why?
I don't know. I just thought I'd take a shot at Rosen. I love Rosie. His whole family, as a matter of fact, very, very nice people. Going all the way back. But in any case, the Twins did win yesterday 3-2. They're not a good team, so don't expect them to do much more. Well, they're not. I mean, I'm sorry. I love the Twins. The Twins are like, if I had a stepbrother, it'd be the Twins. Maybe they are my stepbrothers.
Well, they might be estranged right now. Let's be honest about it.
Estranged brother.
Like you would not. Yeah, you would not be spending Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Christmas are probably a no-go at this point with the Twins with you.
No question about it. But you saw this coming. They gave away everything they had because they didn't want to pick up the tab for it. I still don't. Look, I know that everything in the world's about money. I understand. The more money you have, the bigger deal you are. I understand all of that stuff. But I got to be honest, if I were $3.5 billion into it, if I had that much money, I'd have the best damn baseball team that's ever been put together. Doesn't matter how much it costs, because it ain't going to cost $3.5 billion.
Yeah. And you'd be a hero.
Yeah, absolutely.
The public would love you.
But I don't know, man. It's like I said, I watch all this stuff, and it's like money. Settle down, for Christ's sake. Relax. Right?
Well, yeah, and I like your idea, which is just try and win games. Games of the team that you own. Especially in really the only that's the only really prominent league I think that's left that doesn't have some form of salary cap.
Oh, that's
so
right.
Like baseball's the one where if you want to spend like a drunken sailor, like you get taxed for it. There's ways to tax you via how the league works, but you can spend as much as you want.
I've never understood that, the billionaires that won't spend money. You're like, how do you think I got here? Yeah, well, the point is you're there. You got there. That's the whole, not how you got there. It's the fact you got there. Now let's entertain the people, shall we?
Yeah, well, and with the Twins, it wasn't a case of you had to go out and sign a ton of guys. Like you just
no.
The lineup's a disappointment, but the lineup was not the complaint. The complaint was Sonny Gray left and the starting, and they didn't replace him. That was the complaint. So we're not talking, but it's incredible when you think about it with because I don't consider this TV thing to be a long-term problem. It's going to get solved somehow.
I hope so. God,
and this
one.
TV thing, though, dictated not just the Twins, but a lot of teams' payroll. So instead of saying, how can we keep our product as viable as possible, as good as possible, because that's what's going to put butts in the seats. That's what's going to get people to seek out your games. They reacted with, let's cut some payroll.
You can't use that word again because Tevin's been smiling ever since you used the word dictate. Because of the old joke.
What's the old joke?
I'm not trying to dictate to you. Yeah, how am I dictate? It's one of the greatest lines. What movie was that from?
I don't remember this one. I mean, it's a great line, but I don't remember this one.
Don't pretend you don't know what it is, Tevin.
I don't know what movie that's from.
I have no idea. I've never heard it. You've heard that, though.
Nah.
I haven't.
How am I dictate? You never heard that before?
No.
God, I'm trying to think of what the hell that movie that was from. I laughed my ass off. Anyway, moving forward with sports. Here with Judd Zulgad.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked it. I appreciated it. I'm just surprised I've never heard it.
It was a long time ago, first of all. It was back during like the Superfly era. So It was long before you guys were around.
That sounds like a Blazing Saddles era reference.
That's about the year. Yeah, it's about that time. That's exactly right.
Which, by the way, you could not make now.
Oh no.
No, hell no. No, you can't say anything anymore. You're gonna get canceled. Look, I'm not a TV show. Get the hell away from me. I'm gonna cancel you. Oh, are you? Okay. Well,
Mel Brooks, man. Yeah. Mel Brooks would have been canceled about 1,000 different ways.
I loved him, honest to God. It's true. So we're not looking at the Twins getting much better because they don't have what it takes to get better. They're going to win a game once in a while, but is this season going to be this miserable, do you think?
No, I don't, because baseball, not unless you're right and they just suck.
They do suck.
Then it could be a long year, but I mean, baseball's such an up and down sport.
True.
Here's my thing. I don't expect this lineup to be this anemic. For months on end, but I am concerned because until Royce Lewis joined them last year, the first half they didn't hit well.
No.
No, I thought that they would start out, it's cold and that's the excuse, but I thought that they would start out better this time. But I think what this also shows is if Royce is out, this is how big of impact he makes. Like if you look at the rest of this team and the intangibles that some guys bring, I mean, he's their star player.
No question. And first game, he got hurt, right? The very first game.
It sucks. It's just, with Buxton and with him, especially now. Yeah, first game, running the bases. After he homered.
Yes.
I think he, if I'm not mistaken, homered in the first, and then in the third, he got on base. He's running the bases and gets hurt.
Yep. By just stepping on the bag at second, right? He twisted his knee somehow stepping on second.
As a quad.
Oh, a quad. Oh, I didn't
But I
know
think
that.
you're right. He rounded second. He stepped on second, and something happened. So
Yep,
I think what you
yep.
just said is right. I just don't know exactly how that works.
God, I don't either. I have no idea. I have not been injured a lot in my career. You guys, my career. Yeah, good, Tom. My life is what I meant, of course. My life is a career because
Your radio career, you've not been injured.
yeah, my radio career.
Getting up from my chair, 78, I pulled a buttocks.
You know, thank you so much. I can't be on the show anymore after that comment. I have to go home. That's all there is to it. God. What a childish outfit this whole thing is. But no, look, I obviously am hoping and praying that the Twins get better. I love my Minnesota Twins. I cannot wait to go to a few games this year. Even if they suck, I'm going to go to a few games this year.
Yep.
But it literally makes me sad when my Twins suck this much. I literally get sad from it because I love them that much. I really do.
Well, the good news is Royce is going to be back, I hope around in June. And if it goes like it did last year, it will help a lot.
Yeah, it will. There's no question about it. But I just don't understand how the hell so he pulled the quad rounding second.
Yeah, he's
Where you
rounding.
tear it.
It's a grade 2 sprain, so it's bad.
Sprain.
It's not good. So it's a partial tear. But yeah, he stepped on second. He's rounding second, and then if you watch the replay of it, after he rounds second, his next step is weird. Like something you can tell something's happened.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, I mean it's tough because there are things that they did. I mean, the Central Division, which was awful last year, it was just god awful.
Yep.
Is going to be improved. Like it's not great, but it's improved. And with what they didn't do, that's the problem. Is we started off the season on the wrong foot. Ownership declares they're going to cut payroll. They've closed the upper deck for the month of April because they don't draw that much, and certainly they're not going to draw. You know what really gets me? When they won the playoff series against Toronto, and that place, as you saw, Tom, was electric.
Yep.
How do you not build off that?
I couldn't
That's
agree
what gets
more.
me.
I could not agree more. I just look. We had obviously the dome was a great benefit to the Minnesota Twins. The '87 team would prove that because that was not a very good team. It was good, but not really good. That dome did help the Twins. I don't think there's any question about that because it was such a weird place. First of all, God, it was a weird stadium, wasn't it?
Oh God, yeah. I still contended. In fact, I got in a debate back in the day on our old show on 1500 with Smalley, who was a guest.
Roy.
I said, and I've contended this forever. I said, you guys don't win the '87 series. Heck, you don't get there without that stadium.
No question.
Look at their record in that stadium. They weren't good on the road. No. And 91, I've always said that was a pretty damn good team. Like that team might have won a World Series outside at Target Field. 87, that team, you're so right. It was based on being in a quirky sort of cheap, rundown, carpeted place.
They bragged about how cheap it was when they built it. They did. This only cost $55 million. Everybody else is spending $200. You think that's good news?
It is unbelievable.
That's
unbelievable.
Only us.
Yes.
Only in this state would we came in so far under budget. And then you walked in and you're like, no bleep, it came in under budget. This is a piece of crap. They didn't have it opened without air conditioning.
It did. It opened without air conditioning. It was hotter than a sumbitch in there in the summer.
And wasn't the ventilation an issue too? Because they did have like fireworks, but it wouldn't get all the smoke out afterwards and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about the stadium, AJ, this is for you because you're very youthful.
Okay, thank you.
I'm watching baseball at the Metrodome. The only problem is, let's say you're sitting between home and third base. Every seat is pointed towards center towards center field because it was a football stadium. It was not a baseball stadium. So you had to look over your shoulder to watch the plate. It's like, what the hell is this?
Yes.
Remember that?
Oh, hell yeah. I remember, I mean, I basically grew up there. I remember I couldn't stand it because I love the Met. And I loved outdoor baseball. And I've told you, from the age of 12 to 40, I was stuck indoors. My prime baseball drinking years were spent in the Metrodome. You know, I had to go to Wrigley Field and County Stadium to get a good outdoor baseball fix.
I understand.
Yeah, it was all pointed at the 50, and the aisles were so damn long. Like, to go to the bath, if you were in the middle of a row to go to the bathroom,
Yep.
you had to get like a passport.
Pretty much true. It's hard to argue.
Were there a lot of errors at the Metrodome as well? Because I feel like white baseball, white roof doesn't really make for a lot of easily caught balls.
Look at Lou Ford. He lost the ball in the pop-up to, I want to say, Prince Fielder, who got the inside the park homer.
Oh, the 80s were catastrophic, too.
They
the
were,
The 80s were the best. Billy Martin, I think it was the Yankees, if I'm not mistaken. The Yankees played a series at the Metrodome in like June of 85, and the Yankees must have lost 4 balls in the roof. Balls were good because that's the old AstroTurf. So Tevin balls were shooting through, and Billy melted. It was glorious. Billy melted down.
Good.
This is baseball. This is bull. You know what? And then Ditka, when the Bears came here, he couldn't stand it. Called it the Roller Dome.
What is the Roller Dome?
Oh, yeah.
It was the Roller Dome.
Yeah.
Now, we got to close, I know, but I would say this. I used to get invited once in a while to go out and do a little, pregame warm-up with the Twins. They gave me a uniform and everything. Wow. So I'm out there, and that carpet you're talking about, it was not field. It was a carpet.
Yep.
Had a bunch of slits in it.
Yep.
I mean, it did. And if the ball directly hit a slit, you had no idea where it was going. And I found that out because I was playing out, not playing center field, I was out in center field. Guy hits a line shot that became a roller out to center field. So it kind of went over second base, hit the ground, hopped a couple times, started rolling. So I bend over, I'm going to ground this roller. It hits a seam, hits me right in the chest. I'm like, what the hell is this? It's a ground ball. All of a sudden, it's hitting me like 3 feet off the ground because the seam in the carpet was that bad.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah,
that's terrible.
That turf was crap. It was absolute crap. And the ball would bounce. So like if you missed a fly ball, as Age just said, it would be compounded by the fact that it would hit the turf and bounce how high in the air, Tom?
Oh, it was unbelievable. Like 40 feet. Honest to God, it was forever. It was terrible turf.
And there's a generation that loves that place still. I miss the Metrodome. I miss going to the Metrodome.
No, nobody misses the Metrodome. You miss the memories of whatever team you cheered for at the Metrodome. That's what you miss.
I saw 2 World Series champions, Tevin, and I don't miss anything about the place.
Oh, you're absolutely right. What I love about those 2 World Series championships, they both went 7 games, which is really cool. Oh, I love that. I mean, it was competitive. It was not just this blowout deal. It was very competitive.
Yep.
All right, Pally. Now we're going to have to talk to you until Tuesday again.
Yeah, you're through with me. You're through with me. Me and my jackass ways. I'm out till Tuesday now.
I love the way you went. Jackass ways.
Jackass ways.
I love it.
The hard to work with. High maintenance, Judd Zulgad.
High maintenance, Judd. All right, Pally. We look forward to talking to you on Tuesday.
See you guys later. Bye.
Judd Zulgad, ladies and gentlemen, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Of course, we got Phil on Monday and Friday. We'll talk to Phil tomorrow. Tom Barnard here for Livia Weight Control Centers, down to 256.6 this morning. So I've lost 8.4 pounds in the first 3 days. And I'm sure I'm going to get down to, a pound or less than a pound every day now for the rest of it. I assume that's the case, but I don't know. But here's the deal. I'm getting a jump start on summer because you want to look good in summer. You can lose up to 20 pounds or more in your first 8 weeks the Livia way. When you join Livia, you'll receive a personalized and doctor-recommended program tailored to your unique needs, goals, and lifestyle. Livia's amazing team of registered dietitians and nutritionists will guide you every step of the way. Join Livia today and get your first 8 weeks free. Now, here's the deal. Like I said, I've lost 8.4 pounds. I'm down to 256.6. It's working for me. And this is the part that I mentioned to the people at Livia, and it's true. I am never hungry anymore. Even after a full night's sleep, I wake up in the morning and I'm not hungry. And we're working on why that is. And I suppose the walking part has something to do with it or whatever it is. But I literally, it's only been a few days, but I have not been hungry 1 minute of it yet. No, I'll keep an eye on that for you. Join Livia today and get your first 8 weeks free. I said free. Visit Livia.com. That's LIVEA.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA. And Livia is now offering GLP-1 medications too. Quiet the food noise and see accelerated results by summer. Visit Livia.com. Call 855-GO-LIVIA. Start your weight loss journey now and get a jump on summer the Livia way.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
You know this to be true when you go to a restaurant. You expect the chef to be an expert. I certainly do. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Matter of fact, I have to get together with Josh in the next few weeks. Just talk to him because Catherine and I are thinking about, moving a couple of things around, and I want to make sure that Josh is in control of all that stuff. He knows what he's doing. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market, which is huge because I don't. He understands the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan. His name is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no obligation. It's a 48-minute evaluation. It's terrific, by the way. You're even going to like that part. You got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. All you have to do is call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. And as I said, it's very important in this world now to tell them that Tom sent you. I wish it weren't important, but it is. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Is that a very scary intro? What do you think?
Your voice, though, is getting a little bit better day by day. Are you feeling better?
A little bit better, yeah. Day by day, I do feel better. I got to stay on my Zyrtec, which is a non-prescription deal.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. Things are. I went for a 4.5 mile walk this morning. I feel pretty good about that. When I first got back, it was so anyway, I was talking to the guy. My throat had shut down, so there's still something in the air that bugs my throat. But once I get indoors, it clears up much quicker now. So that's
allergies are not great this time of year. They're pretty bad right now too. So. Oh
God, yeah, that's the way it is. So what's happening with you, Pally?
There was big excitement in my neighborhood yesterday. The couple of Hennepin County Sheriff's deputies were shot.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just down the road from where I live with my family, and I saw all the lights and sirens and cops, and I mean, I probably saw 30 different units coming from every different direction yesterday morning, and knew it. I mean, you could kind of tell based on how they're going and how many different squads that were there. So anyway, I called the newsroom and then found out that just down the street, a couple of deputies were serving a warrant, and person shot at them, and anyway, they killed the person. So one of the deputies he was hurt, or he or she, I should say. I don't think we know if it's a male or female.
Right.
Hurt, not life-threatening, but considered serious. And then the other person was treated and released yesterday, which is good. So
Yeah, so the cops made it out all right. The guy who pulled it off did not make it out all right.
Yep.
I just don't understand. Did you think you would ever get to a day where you hear people are being shot at South Edina, people are being shot in Minnetonka? I never ever thought I'd hear that.
Well, I do think it's a good reminder that crap can happen anywhere, and I mean I don't think there's any question about that. But it, and the Hennepin County Sheriff yesterday was holding a news conference and saying how the growing frustration in the law enforcement community of the disrespect for law enforcement.
I agree. And couldn't agree
more. Here's another example of it. Something that was a seemingly, a pretty routine thing to deliver a warrant, and it happens a lot. And to have something like this go down again, just bad deal. Thank God thank God neither of the deputies were killed. No
question. And it was right in your neighborhood, huh?
What's that?
It was right in your neighborhood.
Yeah, it was. And then because I'm such a snoop, like I couldn't let it be, so I had to. Because everyone was texting me anyway because they knew it was like right down the street. So then basically I was at the DMV when it happened. I drove back home. I grabbed the dogs, and then I walked down and I stood around there by the where all the cops and everything were at for about an hour. And then I was like, "Well, you're not doing get the hell out of here. Leave them alone. They don't need some other Yahoo standing around asking questions." And but yeah, it was right down the street.
So do you still live at 1313 Mockingbird Lane?
I'm not at Mockingbird Lane. No,
you're not. You don't remember that address, do you?
What is it?
Who did live at 1313 Mockingbird Lane? Come on, you guys.
Oh, this is going to piss me off.
Is that like To Kill a Mockingbird or something? Is that where Atticus Finch lived?
No. But an even bigger character than that. And by bigger, I mean physically.
I looked it up. The Munster Mansion. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Lily.
God, what a cast of characters that. Remember that dude? He was in I can't remember what was the name, the guy's name, the
Fred Gwynn. Fred Gwynn was his real name. Yeah.
Do you remember seeing the movie Pet Sematary? He was really good in that movie. He was super creepy in that movie.
He could be creepy, but I will tell you, honest God, one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to meet.
Yeah,
just a really nice guy.
Nice.
1313 Mockingbird Lane. I love it. No question. We used to tease Sid about that many, many years ago because he was living in a house and it was this kind of beautifully ornate house, but Sid had kind of let her slip a couple of knots, if you know what I mean. So we started calling his house 1313 Mockingbird Lane, and Sid did not appreciate that at all.
I bet he did not. No, I bet he didn't.
Sydney. I miss Sydney. I got to be honest with you.
I wish I would have met him.
Oh, God, Sid was a piece of work, no question. So what else is in the news, Pally? We got two cops that lived. I'm glad to hear that. I wish people would stop opening fire.
We're watching for a verdict in the Apple River stabbing trial, which it went to the jury yesterday. They started deliberations again this morning at 8:00. So that could happen at any time today. So, I mean, you never know how long these things take, but I guess we'll see. The defense painted the picture of a guy who was confronted by a bunch of teenagers and got pushed over, and he's had a heart attack. He had some health issues and he was scared for his life. And that's why things went down the way they did. I don't know. It's going to be I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that all plays out, because when you watch the video, and I don't know if you had a chance to see any of the video of what happened that day, but it's a very chaotic scene, and it's very hard to watch that from the outside, not knowing all the particulars, but to look at that and to just be able to look at one group or the other there and say, well, they're definitely at fault. Like there's a lot of yelling, a lot of pushing. There was a lot of aggression coming from the kids too. And I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form that justifies that young man, a 17-year-old, I think his name is Isaac Schumann, it justifies him getting stabbed and killed. But there was definitely a lot going on in those couple of moments.
And I'm telling you what, there is no question that our political parties are at fault for this violence. They're scaring the piss out of everyone. They're causing people to hate one another. We got to do something about our politicians. They are using our hatred to make money, and it pisses me off to no end.
It's there is a lot of vitriol in the world right now. There's no doubt about that.
No question. Like I'm getting rid of you right now. What do you think of that?
You know what? You should.
No, I mean just for today.
No, I know, but I'm not good for much, to be honest.
I loved your stories today.
I'm just a bearer of bad information generally.
No, 1313 Mockingbird Lane was wonderful. The cops lived. That's wonderful.
I used to work on Mockingbird Drive in Omaha. KMTV was the TV station. When you said Mockingbird Drive, my first thought was like, what the hell? How would he know that I worked at KMTV? But anyway.
All right. We'll keep an eye on you.
All right, you guys have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Bally.
Bye.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. I love working with Chris Egert. And you have a great attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't know where 1313 Mockingbird Lane is. How do you not know where that is?
To his defense, I had no clue either.
It's the Munsters.
But
Well,
we
that's
know
not
now.
radio generation.
We know now, and we'll never forget.
Good point. Very good point. We shall take a break. Got some great guests coming up the rest of the show here, as a matter of fact. It's time to think about the high taxes in Minnesota. Yeah, I do quite often, actually. And how much you could be saving with a Sioux Falls location. One of the first things Minnesota companies that have expanded or moved to Sioux Falls notice are the lower tax bills. Now, companies don't pay corporate or personal state income tax, and their other expenses are lower in Sioux Falls, too. Those business leaders started at our website, SiouxFallsDevelopment.com, where you'll find a lot of the information needed to make the Sioux Falls decision. It's an easy decision to make, as a matter of fact. You'll discover just how quickly and efficiently you can get your operation started in Sioux Falls. Not only will your business be up and running sooner, you'll also be making higher profits. The National Tax Foundation's new index shows Minnesota at number 45, paying too many taxes, and South Dakota's at number 2. One of the best tax climates in the nation. 2024 is a time to make your move to Sioux Falls. Check out SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
Is that text you're sending so important that you miss your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
In addition to having the best selection in town, K&L Surplus and Ammo also can help you sell your firearms safely and worry-free. Very, very important. You've inherited a collection of firearms from a loved one, don't know what to do with them, or if you have guns you're no longer using, call Jim at K&L Surplus and Ammo. Jim can help you sell those firearms safely and through consignment and auction. I know Jim. He's an extremely knowledgeable guy, great guy too. Will help you get top dollar, which is very important, of course. He will help you explore all the options and take the work and stress off of your shoulders. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lina Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. You can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. We good to go with our guest?
No, I'm still waiting on that call, so it might be another minute or two here.
So we just got an email from our booker about 9 minutes ago. They said they can't find David. So
okay.
Is he a disappearing act? Is he that good?
It's David Blaine, and he's just gone.
Okay, so he's just gone. They can't find him?
Yeah, he said the publicists can't find him. He's very sorry. They're trying to track him down. I feel like some of these guys either oversleep or maybe like to party and don't pick up the phone.
Well, I'll give him a plug anyway. He's promoting the release of the Revolutionary series RZR, first ever live action series released exclusively on the new streaming service Gala. I don't know what Gala. You know Gala?
No.
Nope, which is probably
that's
why
why
he
he
needs to
disappeared.
promote it. Yeah.
It starts on April 14th. Actor, writer, filmmaker David Bianchi has over 120 professional credits in films and major TV networks, including Queen of the South, Tyler Perry's Ruthless, Westworld, SEAL Team. He's been in a lot of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, I got to tell you, this is another one of those deals. David Bianchi's not showing up. Typical Italian.
Right. Is this Dave Bianchi? Are they related?
Well, that's too bad. I thought he'd be a good interview, but he's not going to be a good interview because he didn't show up for anybody, apparently.
No. So yeah, his whole tour day, and I always love when like stuff like that happens. And like we can always reschedule. And it's like,
Well, I feel like you missed.
No. You feel like what, AJ?
I feel like you kind of missed the boat there, Dave. Like if you want to reschedule, I mean, I don't know. Like you said, Tom, I've never heard of Gala. I don't know.
It could be Gala, yeah.
Also, is the show RZR? Is it Razor? I don't know.
Yeah.
I would love to ask it.
Yeah, I don't understand. You got this new network with a new show, and you don't show up for your interviews? I don't quite understand that. Maybe he saw it was me and went, "Oh, I'm not working with that prick. Forget it."
It's just so weird. Like, I'm gonna feel bad if it comes out like, actor and writer Dave Bianchi kidnapped.
Right.
Oh, that would be terrible. That would not fly too well with the rest of the world, would it? He turned up. The guy got cacked, and they were making fun of him. No, that's not what we're doing at all. Don't worry about a thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where Gala is, so I'd have a hell of a hard time watching the show.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find it. It looks like it almost looks like Twitch. It looks like you can stream like games, music, and the film. So it sounds like an maybe not necessarily up and coming, but a newer, site. And to his credit, RZR or Razor, however you put it, is on the front page of the film or of the site. So they're at least it's their big marquee show. Good for him.
Good, and now he's not showing up for the interviews, which is always a good idea.
Yeah, I hope his show fails.
Miserably. I hope everything collapses beneath you. That's all we're saying.
I'm sure it's great.
That does not happen very often, though. But I don't know. It's always Italians, typical,
Mm-hmm.
like Sansevier, people like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's an awfully short list. Sansevier.
Sansevier and Dave Bianchi, the only two on the list. That is it. Well, we got Lisa Welch's supposed to be here in about 15 minutes, so I don't know. Yeah. We'll see if she shows up.
She should. She's and AJ is super excited because he's a Survivor fan, and she was probably one of the more notable people on Survivor.
Yeah, she made it to the final tribal council for season 25. So like 2011 or 12, I want to say she was on Survivor Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Survivor Philippines.
Yeah, it was they used to do like different locations. So there was like Cambodia and there was like, these different islands they would send to. Now it's just all at Fiji. So it's hard to differentiate, but she was on the Philippine season.
What was a kid's show she was on? I know she was on the Mickey Mouse Club, but there was another one.
She was the kid on
the Facts of
Life. There we go.
Facts of Life. There you go. That's exactly right. She was good on there. She's a very attractive young woman with a very pretty smile. Does that count? Can you even say that anymore? You've got a pretty smile. Why does it have to be pretty? It's like, shut up.
Better than not being pretty, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, that's my exact point. It's like I said, man, your smile is hideous.
All right. You have a pretty smile. They get offended. You know what? I take it back. That grin is ugly as hell.
You've got saw teeth that are yellow and blue.
Yep.
Okay, you know what we could do, because we actually don't go to break for another 7 minutes?
Yeah, 7 minutes.
Okay, let's pretend that I'm Dave Bianchi.
Okay.
And I'll do the interview. So you guys ask me questions and I'll do the interview.
Hey Dave, thanks so much for joining us. I know you're running a few minutes late here. Can you tell us about your show Razor, RZR? Where can we find it? Where can we watch it?
It's none of your business.
Okay, great. Well, looks like you were in a lot of great.
All right.
You're in a lot of great other shows. We got, let's see here, Queen of the South, which was on Netflix. That was popular. Tyler Perry's Ruthless, Westworld, SEAL Team, Criminal Minds. Do you have a favorite that sticks out to you in your career?
Well, actually, they got it wrong because it's Queen of the North. But other than that, yeah, some of that. Well, I've worked with some great, people. There's Richard Cabral and Danny Trejo, and really nice people.
Yeah, I see you worked with Mr. Machete himself, Danny Trejo. What was he like?
It's Trejo, man. You're pronouncing it wrong.
There will be no Danny Trejo slander on this show.
I do love Danny Trejo. That is true. We should get him on as a guest. He's a great guest, actually. Danny Trejo is a really good guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know who the hell it is, but Dave Bianchi looks exactly like somebody I know, and I can't think of who the hell it is. He's got the clean-shaved heads, got the kind of the little goatee going. They still call him goatees?
Yeah, I think so. And I hate to admit it, but he kind of has just the generic black guy look.
Like I thought you were an Italian guy.
Black guy look. Like he's bald, yeah, like you're saying, got the goatee. He's wears like the power suit. He kind of looks like every TV business character for a black guy.
You know, one thing that's so great about that, you should never put people in a box because it's not fair. Basically, what you're talking about right now, but where I grew up, I could pick out whether I'd never met him, whether I ever talked to him, never seen him before. That guy's Italian.
Yeah.
You could. There's no doubt about it.
I used to work at the House of Comedy at the Mall of America, where you see every walk of life stroll through, and we would sit, behind the bar in the club, and you can just point out people that are walking by, and you can, I would say, pretty accurately put them in whatever box you want to, just based off of how they're walking in or their appearance. Like, life is all about boxes, and obviously get to know people on a more personal level, but yeah, there's a lot of boxes you can easily put people in.
Yeah, but I mean, don't you think we're too touchy about all that stuff now? First of all, you can't do anything right anymore. No matter how you approach things, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I don't really understand why they look at it that way. And I guess it must be getting more and more frustrating because more and more people are bringing it up. It's like, is there any way you could be happy for 1 minute? Is it just impossible for you to be happy?
Yeah, I knew it was the world was done for when years ago on your show you were interviewing somebody that had wrote a book, and the book was about women, and you made a comment like, I think that all women are beautiful. Like you can find beauty in little things about anybody. And the lady goes, I am offended by that. And
she was. She actually called
Shut it down.
The radio station. She called like 5 people to tell them how hateful I was.
Yep.
By saying I find most women to be attractive. 'Cause I do.
Right.
Why is that wrong that I find most people to be attractive, most women to be attractive? I mean, how is that in any way detrimental to women?
That's just such a hateful comment. I mean, you're just taking down
really is.
Step by step, stone by stone. It's honestly a shame.
Yeah, I would rather have you just get on with a list of women that you find hideous and just start calling them out for all their imperfections. That would make everybody feel better.
Get a rap song out called Ugly Bitch, that kind of thing. I just don't understand. You like the way people look, so you're a horrible human being. Yeah, I remember that woman. That woman was nuts. My God, she was off her rocker. I'm like, what? I really don't understand the point you're trying to make here, sister. I never will, I guess, but that's just me. First of all, this is a question I do have for you guys because we're, in a way, 3 different generations, 2.5 anyway. Mm-hmm. But I am not offended by very much. There are very, very few things that offend me. On the other hand, 99% of things offend everybody else. Why would you want to be offended by everything?
I don't know, but I find myself in kind of that same box as well, where people will come up to me and they're like super worked up about something. And I'm just like, okay, like, what do you want me to do with that information? Like, I'm not going to solve your problem because you're upset right now. Like, I don't know what you want from me.
I just don't. Why don't you want to be happy? That's the one thing I will never understand. It's just calm down. I have to be in control of everything. I have to make a lot of money. It's like, no, you don't. Enjoy your life. Calm down. I went for my walk this morning. It was very windier than some bitch, I'll tell you that. But it was this wonderful time in my life. I'm like, out for a walk. I feel good. This is good for me. Made me very happy. And then, of course, you turn on TV, it's like, why, that son of a bitch. I was like, settle down. Wow. God, and it's all, and I know it's to make money. I understand they make a lot of money by being so, spewing their hatred all over everybody else. Just relax, will you, for 1 second, right?
Yeah, you go on your morning walk, you get back, turn on the news, and it's 5 reasons your morning walk could kill you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're surprised you're not dead, Tom. I don't know. And I cannot tell you, because I'm older than you guys, I cannot tell you people have always been this way, because they have not. In 1967, there was a lot of hatred. Martin Luther King was killed. Robert Kennedy. I mean, all these people were murdered in the streets. Now, that was a reason to be pissed off. But the fact that you voted different than I did should not be a reason you want to kill me.
Right.
And I've never I do understand it, because who was the author that said 95% of people in the world are so stupid you can't even deal with them? It wasn't me. Now, don't blame it on me. You could look it up, though. There is a guy who wrote that 95% of human beings on Earth are really stupid, and that's why you can't deal with them. He was not a popular man after he put that book out. I do remember that, but, it was his viewpoint. Is it going to affect the world? No. If one guy thinks 95% of people in the world are stupid, how would that affect the world? It wouldn't.
No, because you can find somebody that will go and probably give the other stat where they're like 95% of people are brilliant.
100% correct. There's no question. All right, we got to take a break here, but we'll be right back and find out if you found out who the author was. But Lisa Welch, maybe Lisa will know who it was, because I can't remember. It's in the back of my. I'll come up with it eventually. I promise. We shall take a break. Be right back in a couple minutes. Lisa Welch will join us right after this.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi guys, it's Chris Egert from Channel 5 Morning News, along with my friends Megan Newquist and Ken Barlow. In the morning, we pride ourselves on sharing people's stories. I've been lucky enough to be part of this 5 Eyewitness News morning team for more than a decade now. This is where I've raised my kids and working alongside my friends for all these years. We're like a family too.
We are family, Chris. Working with you and Ken and Hannah, it is such an honor to help folks start their day every morning on Channel 5. We get to catch people up on the news that's happening, and Hannah is here to keep an eye on the traffic around town.
And when it comes to weather, I know people rely on me to plan their day and get their family out the door. Over the last 10 years, there were so many memories and so many laughs. I just love sharing the forecast alongside you guys.
I feel the same way, Ken. To all you who start your day with us here on Channel 5, we think of you as family too. Thanks for turning on 5 Eyewitness News in the mornings.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies. Did you guys ever find out who wrote that book?
No, but that 95% of people are stupid, that seems to be a very common belief amongst the internet, because there are a lot. They're selling T-shirts. Everybody is using that quote.
So it was inspired by this guy, but he ggets no credit for it.
Oh no! But I can give you a link to a shirt that says 95% of people are stupid.
He got put through the ringer for saying that. He wrote an entire book on it, as a matter of fact. But obviously the book is no longer available because you couldn't find it. So they just canceled that bad boy. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Stole his idea to make money and then, canceled him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's very, very true. Let me know when Lisa's ready to go.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on that call here too. So she might be doing a vanishing act as well.
What?
I've gotten a call yet.
How the hell is this happening?
On a bright side, I believe it was Bob Clyett that came up with the 95%.
Oh, it was. Okay.
People in his book here, maybe not Bob, but Kunk on Everything. I don't know if I just said a slur on right now. That sounds a weird thing.
Yeah, I was going to say that title after you, but that sounds controversial.
Hey,
But,
Tevin, you got Kunk all over the front of your pants.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway.
Clean yourself up, Tevin. Come on. This is a family show.
And we're wondering why people don't call in when they're supposed to be on the show. Why that? What the hell's good? This is weird.
It is, right?
I've never had two back-to-back guests not show up.
No, and let's hope that she's just running late from her previous interview. But there's nothing from Art on what's going on.
She's 3 minutes late, so she's already through 3 minutes of. So I have the 7-minute interview. Yeah, that's never happened before. That's weird. I wonder what the hell that's all about.
I'm sure joining late, we'd be able to get a couple more minutes out of Lisa.
Oh yeah, there's no. If she does show up, I hope so, because that's never happened before. That'd be a new world record for me. That 2 guests in a row canceled.
Yeah,
that's odd. I mean, it's just maybe they looked me up and said, "I'm not going on with that son of a bitch." Do you think that's what it was?
She was like, I survived on the Philippines island for Survivor, but I cannot survive this 10-minute interview. I'm out.
Hey, you know what? That stuff does happen to some. I mean, not at this level, obviously, but some of those like TV hosts, national TV hosts, national radio hosts, that kind of thing, they do get canceled by people, man. People don't like something they said. They go after them huge. They get some of their advertisers to cancel. They do. It's like I said, harming people is a very, very big thing right now. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, well, because it's so easy to get a group of people to like, are you mad about this thing that I'm mad about? Okay, cool. Let's all go after, whatever business that supports his show or whatever else and try to get everything canceled.
I guess so. One thing I will say that has changed booking guests completely, because everybody has a podcast now. A lot of people won't do interviews on other outlets anymore. They just won't do them. Because they can promote the hell out of themselves on their own podcast. So the world has changed. I don't know. It's weird.
And people, because podcasts, you can get to such a specific audience. So if you're like, I know that, middle-aged men that live in Arkansas love me, I can go on a podcast that is directed right at them. So I don't have to go on, and try to diversify my audience, because I can just get 10,000 people in this specific market.
That's actually my favorite podcast.
Yeah.
The Middle-Aged Men Arkansas podcast.
The Middle-Aged Men. No, I've got a lot of friends that most of them stand-up comedians that don't do radio or podcast interviews anymore because they have their own podcast now.
Yeah.
So they go on it every day and people find them there, and they just don't do the interviews anymore. It's, and look, if we did no interviews for the rest of the time, it would not be that big a deal. Because I'd be honest with you, I would say about 75 to 80% of guests are not that good anyway.
No, because they look at it as a lot of time as a requirement for whatever movie or whatever show. And they're like, I don't want to do this. It's not going to be fun. Because they think that, because a lot of radio too, especially with comedians, they'll sit down and the interviewer will go, all right, be funny. Tell me a joke. Yeah. And it's not an actual real conversation.
Make me laugh, funny man.
Make me laugh, funny man. No, I mean, so the world has changed. And again, I don't want to use their names because I don't know if they'd want me to or not. But I have 4 or 5 very good friends that are nationally known. Oh, more than 4 or 5. There's probably like 15 or 20 of them that haven't been on this show yet because they just don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think Mark Maron kind of His was the first comedian podcast that really popped off, and he was selling out arenas. And so he kind of set the standard of, if you want to be successful, get a popular podcast, and then your podcast followers will just come to the shows. But did you see, speaking of comedians, your friend Nick Swartzen he just booked a show at First Ave, and he's coming to First Ave here in the next couple months.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. I just saw it on Instagram. They posted that he's booked and going to be performing there, which I thought he hasn't really been in the news. And because do you still talk to Nick at all?
I haven't talked to Nick in about a year. I saw him. We had dinner the last time he was in town about a year ago, but I haven't talked to him since then. And I think part of that might be the very thing that caused him to be taken off stage.
Gotcha.
You know, you go through those periods, and I love Nick Swartz. His whole family, just wonderful people, brothers, sisters. His sister is such a sweetheart; it's unbelievable. Nick has one of those lives where he lost his father when he was very, very young, and he never got over that really. And I mean that in a good way. That he loved his father a great deal. He loves his family. That's all I'm saying. Nick Swartzen is a very, very nice man. But he's got some foibles, just like this guy I know that's wearing a yellow shirt right now. So, you know, AJ looks down at his shirt. I love that.
Who's wearing yellow?
Yeah.
Let's see, who is wearing a yellow shirt?
Oh, who is that? Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's going to change in podcasting and in radio, particularly in radio, that they're not going to do much interviewing anymore because they just don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Back in the day you did, but not anymore. So do I care? Not really. I would say, I think I'm a little low on that. I would say basically maybe 2 out of 10 guests are all that good anyway.
Yeah.
You feel that's true?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say there's definitely some that you get more excited about. And then most of the time, what you're excited about isn't actually what they're here to promote. Like, okay, yeah, you're writing a book, but I want to talk about that show you did, 3 years ago that I loved, and talk about that rather than, you know, whatever cookbook you're promoting.
Sorry about your new passion project. Yes. I want to hear about the sitcom from 20 years ago. How was that?
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Remember that when you were first on the Beverly Hillbillies? Like, I don't really want to talk about that. That was 50 years ago. But I wonder how long. I bet you that was 60 years ago, wasn't it? The Beverly Hillbillies. How many years ago did that hit television?
It has to be a while. I remember seeing that was always the follow-up show to like MASH on TV Land.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So 1993, the movie came out.
The movie did, but the TV series started when?
Let's see.
It was in the 60s, I think. I'm not sure, but I think it was.
62. Ran 62. For 9 seasons.
Honest to God, think about that. 60. So that was 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Holy
God. That's the one thing that I've noticed as getting older. Everything that I go like, oh, it's like, the 80s. That was like 20 years ago. Nope.
No,
my
it was
age
not.
to show.
I was just talking to some buddies about that the other day. It's like, 2019, that was just like a year or two ago. Nope, that is 5 years ago now? The jump from then to now.
Yeah.
Like going through the pandemic and like your quarantine and all this stuff and kind of the aftermath of that. But it feels like, God, I remember seeing, I'm trying to like, it's just crazy how quickly that time has jumped. I have lost total track of it.
Yeah.
Well, I would have never thought that was 60 years ago. 62 years ago, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, my God, I would never have thought that was that long ago. But, I suppose it makes sense when you're talking about that kind of thing. But so I may as well talk about this on the show. How do we want to go about booking guests if they're not going to show up? Because I've heard this from a lot of friends around the country. This is happening everywhere, that guests are not showing up for their interviews. So should we even book guests anymore? Unless,
I think so. I mean,
yeah, I feel like today's an anomaly because when's the last time, like you said, this set a new record.
0 for 2, like, and because every once in a while, I feel like we've had guests that we didn't even book that get call in. So
right.
We had Marie Osmond calling one day. It's just like, hey, what's up? How are you? How's the strip?
Yeah, she's such a sweetheart. She's very nice. Look, and I'm not saying these are bad people. That's not what I mean. It's just they can do it on their own now. So if I can do it, look, if you got advertisers on your podcast and you could make money by having yourself on your own podcast as a guest, I suppose that's what you're going to do, right?
Yeah, and it definitely sucks when they don't show up. But like I was talking to AJ during the break, and like Dog the Bounty Hunter is going to be on the show, I think, next week. And so it's like there are big guests where it's big names, and you're like, okay, I have faith that he's going to show up on time and be entertaining. So I don't think we should just boycott all guests.
No, I don't think we should boycott it. But I thought for sure Lisa would show up. She's always shown up
Yeah.
for interviews. But the world is different now. I mean, podcasting has changed this business in a huge way. And I know this is a podcast, but having your own podcast where you make all the money is probably what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to draw people to your own podcast and get it taken care of that way. It works out well. I will tell you this. It's going to be a problem if our third guest in a row doesn't show up because it's Kristen Burt.
If she doesn't show up, I'm on the first flight out to LA, knocking on her door.
I like it.
Where the hell are you?
What the hell's wrong with you? There you go.
Kristen!
We shall take a break. KB2 will be with us right after this. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
The new Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw & Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner. You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Yes, you are, ladies and gentlemen. Do not tell me she didn't show up.
I don't know where she is.
That is hilarious. Are they in? There she is, you liar. Lion sacks. So, Mr. Bianchi. Oh, excuse me. It's Kristen Burt. That's who it is. Kristen, we just went through a thing I've never been through before. This is my 54th year doing morning shows, or radio in general, I guess it would be, because some of it was not morning shows. But first time in 54 years in the business, I've ever had two guests in a row not show up. What the hell is that?
The eclipse. Maybe the eclipse sent everyone off in a tizzy, crazy energy spin or something.
What do you mean, not actors? They don't act nuts, do they?
No. It is, if they don't have a publicist kind of keeping them in check, and they don't get the reminder the day before, hey, just reminding you, tomorrow you have your interview at 7 a.m. or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do that reminder, people forget all of the time.
Yeah, they do. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you think
I've had it
also-
happen to me.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That you forget?
I don't forget. but that my guest forgets when I'm interviewing them. It happens.
Really? Like
Mhm.
who forgot?
I'm you know what, it's people in the dance world. So that was always because
There's
I
a
used to
shock.
host a dance podcast, like people from Dancing with the Stars. So you think you can dance. And let me tell you, if I literally was not on top of them, like, hey, tomorrow, right? And we were
Yeah.
doing in studio at the time. This was before the pandemic. So this was ahead of like really utilizing StreamYard or Zoom. And it was one of those situations. They'd be like, yeah. And then the day I'll be like, see you in a couple hours. I mean, I was annoying because we did have a couple of no shows and it was awful.
Do you think part of it is that everybody has their own podcast now and can generate a lot of ticket sales through their own podcast?
I personally don't see it that way because if I have a podcast, I want to go on other podcasts to help
Yeah.
promote my podcast.
Yep.
But I think probably for some, it's just like busy schedule, not writing things down. Oh yeah, I got it. And then we're like flies, we're like, okay, on to the next thing. Just
Yeah,
totally.
pretty much.
You go like, where's the squirrel? Squirrel. Yep. And then off you go.
I totally misread how this was going to go because before you came on, I thought I'm going to ask her this and she's going to say, "Oh, maybe they don't like you, Tom." That might be it.
Oh no, I actually can commiserate with you. I've experienced before. And last week I went on a podcast as a last minute fill-in guest. Cheryl Burke, who's one of the former pros of Dancing with the Stars, has a podcast called Sex, Lies, and Spray Tans. And literally that morning they're like, we're so sorry, but our guest canceled at the last minute or, can't come. And I just said to their booker, I'm like, it is like booking talent is not for the faint of heart. And I don't think people realize how difficult it is. How frustrating it is. And, it's so funny you even talk about this. I'm trying to book, I'm not going to get into too many specifics because I don't want to put someone on blast, but I'm trying to book someone for an interview and I'm going through 3 layers of people. And this is someone who's no longer on TV. It's just kind of like a catch up, like where are they now kind of interview. And I feel like I'm being screened to, broker world peace, or go to the White House or the Pentagon or something. And they just called me this morning and they're like, we have one more question. And at this point, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to do the interview anymore.
I know.
And it's a nice, fluffy, feel good piece. It's not a gotcha interview.
So it's Tom Brokaw. Is that who you're saying?
That's who it is. No, it's not. And I don't know the reasoning. I would love to know the reasoning as to why they're making it so challenging for me to just get the interview on the calendar.
It's everybody now. It's not just you. It's pretty much everybody because a lot of them do their own podcast and don't want to do podcast or radio. They really don't want to do anymore because apparently it's out of their generation. I suppose radio listenership is what now? Probably 50 on up, something like that.
Maybe even older.
Yeah, it might be older than that. It might be
Maybe.
60 on up. You might be right. So yeah, getting things done on radio now is not very easy. But I've had several friends, like I said, comedian friends that have their own podcast now, so they don't do interviews anymore. They just do them on their own podcast, which I suppose makes sense if you don't want to go on a 20 show tour or something like that. It probably can be a massive pain in the because do you think part of the problem is that most people can't interview worth a damn? Do you think that's part of it?
I think that's part of it. I also think people are so afraid to talk. And I don't mean
good
this.
Point. Good
Yes.
point.
And I will say that often it's not worth really doing red carpets very often because a lot of bigger celebrities will do photo wall. So they'll get their photo taken and then they zip on by the video portion of it because they don't want to do interviews. Nobody wants that gotcha moment. Nobody wants to be canceled. Everyone is so stressed out. And I think it's also why people are starting to back off social media too.
Yes, they are.
I mean, if you talked to us probably 4 years ago, I bet we were all of us uploading to Instagram every day, every other day, that kind of thing. Now I'm like, oh, look, it's been weeks, that kind of thing. It's just one of those situations where I don't have anything to say and I don't want controversy. And sometimes I don't want to hear people's commentary because you're like, that's not what I meant when I posted this.
That's really funny about that is that I just got back on social media after being gone for 12 years. And I've been on it, I guess, a month and a half. I've had 2 people say something negative to me. And it wasn't even all that negative. And I was surprised by that. Do they filter those out really well now?
They do pretty well on Facebook about filtering them out.
Yeah,
Instagram's okay. Twitter, you're just gonna see it.
You're gonna see it.
You're just gonna see it. And then usually I go mute or leave conversation or
Well, as you know, it's not a good combination. Attacking me while I was a drinker. That was not a good combo.
I do remember that era, Tom.
Oh, shut up, Kristen. I still cannot believe you and I have been working together for about 75 years, and I've never met you. That's so weird.
I live in my closet.
Well, plus the fact every time you come to Minneapolis, it's like, don't tell Tom I'm coming.
I haven't been to Minneapolis since.
Liar.
I swear to God, I've not been to Minneapolis.
Swear to God.
I think the last time I was there was 2000 and I want to say like 8, somewhere around there.
Really?
So that was before I started working with you. Yes.
Oh my God, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
But no, it's just the world is changing. I do understand that. So you do think that, because I was on Twitter before, but now I jumped. Everybody told me, no, don't go on Twitter. It's not for you. Go on Facebook.
I feel like it's dying. I really feel like it's dying.
Twitter is?
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
Well, it only
Elon
cost
Musk.
$200 million.
Elon Musk's regime has not been pleasant. It really
Doesn't
isn't.
seem like it. What is his problem? Because he was once the richest man in the world, and now, of course, the guy that owns Amazon is, but Jeff Bezos.
Bezos.
Or Bezos, is it?
Bezos.
Bezos, okay. Bozo?
Bezos.
Bezos.
Did you
Bezos
see
the
him
clown.
and his
Honk,
fiance on the state dinner last night?
No.
She went va va voom with an outfit that I was like, wow.
Why don't they just date hookers? If you want her to look like a hooker, don't you just date a hooker? Am I wrong?
I mean, she's got some. Yeah, she's wearing a dress. That's for
She's
certain.
a flamboyant dresser. She's a flashy dresser. I mean, for me, I think I would naturally go more conservative just because it's the White House. Doesn't matter who the president is. It's just the White House.
Yeah,
I
right,
think that was more of a Grammy Awards dress, Golden Globes dress.
Is she 19 or how old is she?
She's in her 50s.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a very age-appropriate fiance.
Because his first wife, didn't she give billions of dollars to all kinds of charities and all that?
She has and continues to do so.
That's
Mackenzie
what I hear.
Scott.
Mackenzie Scott. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, she's an interesting. She has a very long neck, I've noticed.
Mackenzie Scott?
You've never noticed that?
No,
I'm Googling it right now.
She's got a very long neck. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. She just has a very long neck.
Well, that would be elegant as like a figure skater,
Yeah, see,
ballroom
there you-
dancer, ballet dancer.
That's what I'm
Love
saying.
it.
That's exactly what
And
I meant.
oftentimes, I think it was seen as a sign of wealth.
Well, she's
Remember
got
in
wealth.
Egyptian times? Yeah, she does have wealth. That's
She's
true.
worth like $47 billion or something like that.
And she gives away almost all of it. I mean, she continues to give huge sums.
You know the one person I never say that around?
Who?
Catherine. Because I don't have $47 billion to give her.
None of us do. None of us do.
Turtle Dove. You know, we've been together for 44 years now. Isn't that
That's
amazing?
sweet.
Been married. Well, as a matter of fact, July 7th, we'll be married 40 years. Greatest thing
Aw.
that ever happened to me. And I'm not making that up. She
No,
is the
we believe
greatest thing that
you.
ever happened to me.
We believe
She's
you.
phenomenal. Good. I'm glad you believe me because
Yes.
otherwise she'd kick me right in the ass. Why don't you have them saying nice things about me?
No, you know how I know, Tom? You know how I know how much you love her? When she was away and out of town, you did not know what to do with yourself.
You're right.
Yep.
It's absolutely true.
Mhm.
She's a piece of work. There's no question. I don't know.
She's your-
How does that happen? Maybe you guys can explain this to me. How does that happen to some people and not others? Like she happened to be answering the phone at my attorney's office. I never went to my attorney's office ever. The day I show up, she's answering the phone. What are the odds that I ever would have met her? Not very high.
Meant to be.
Meant to
It was
be,
the
I guess.
universe pulling you together.
I think it's wonderful. That's all I have to say. There's no
Yes,
question.
I love that you're like lovesick all these years later. It's so cute.
I am right now because I haven't seen her in like 12 hours. So there you go.
Wasn't she just walking around the background?
Well, she was walking out the door to play pickleball. That's what she was doing. So when this show's over, I will not see her still because she's playing pickleball, which is great. It's wonderful. Now, I wish that people would because what I hear from other people is that not many people have a relationship like that, which is really unfortunate. That I honestly wish everybody could have the relationship I have with my wife. It's unbelievable. But most people don't.
Yeah, I think relationships, I mean, especially in the modern era, are very hard.
Yeah.
They're challenging for so many different reasons. I think a lot of them come down to finances too. People with families are stretched to the max right now, and I don't know, it's tough. You really do have to work at it you make sure you're keeping your relationship, in the forefront.
Yeah, it's a different world now, isn't it?
It really is. I even, I was talking about this with someone yesterday. Just my mom was a stay-at-home mom in an era when it was easier, not easy, but easier to have a one-income family. But my mom was very present for those dance recitals and the field trip mom. And, you got to an age sometimes where you're like, why is my mom here? But looking back, I see why she was there and how present she was. And, but I do also see that it was a different era. Now living off of 2 incomes is almost a must versus a, situation where you're like, I'll take a few years off of work. It's hard to do.
Oh, God, it's really hard to do now. Did you see the video of that kid? He looks like he's about he could be anywhere from like 16 to 26 years old. And he comes on camera and he's like, I just want everyone to know that I make 3 times the national average income and I can't afford anything. And he starts yelling at the camera. Have you seen this, Devin?
No, but that is a sentiment that gets echoed by everybody these days. It's like, if you want to survive, it's like you have to make $150,000. Otherwise, you feel like you should be living under a bridge somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, this kid it's really worth watching the video if you get a chance to watch it, because he's this kind of gentle-looking guy at the beginning. By the end, he's a raving lunatic because he's so pissed off that he makes 3 times what his friends make, and he still can't pay his bills. Isn't that sad?
It's so sad because I just go to the grocery store. Sometimes I buy things. I'm like, I'm just going to do a quick trip, pick up a couple things. And then all of a sudden I look at that. I'm like, 4 items was $50.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I didn't buy anything. And, I'm good. I have no problem using a coupon if I have one too. And sometimes I'm like, that took off 50 cents. Okay. I can't imagine having to buy for, if you're a family of 4 or you have a very large family, you are coming up with really creative ways to make meals at that point, because groceries are so expensive.
Did you ever see the movie The In-Laws? Peter Falk, one of the greatest lines in the history of movies. Yeah, what's wrong with you? I don't know. I'm just thinking about things and how things are setting up. Like, let me ask you a question. What's the world going to be like when a 6-pack of Budweiser is $1,200?
We're on our way.
We're on our way, ladies and gentlemen. We're on our way.
Oh, we're gonna sit here and I'll stop drinking because no one wants a $1,200 pack of beer.
It's $200 a beer, but other than that, it all works out in the end. All right, any closing words, sister?
How about a little bit of entertainment news since we talked everything, but just a lot of reboots seem to be coming down the pike. This is the kind of time of year when we start hearing about what they're looking at for next fall. So here we go. Melrose Place is looking at returning. That 90s show, Heroes, which wasn't that long ago. We had Heroes in 2006, I believe, and then they did Heroes Reborn. They're looking to do Heroes Eclipsed.
Was that the Save the Cheerleader, Save the World?
Yes.
What?
That first season of Heroes was a phenomenon, and then it tanked really fast.
I never even heard of it.
It was a really good NBC show.
Wasn't it? Was it like Hayden Panettiere?
She was in there.
He was the cheerleader. Milo Ventimiglia.
Bunch of Italians. Who cares?
The Facts of Life, you guys. The Facts of Life. They want to reboot it. Yes. And let me tell you, Leonardo DiCaprio's production company is producing along with Jessica Biel's production company. It's like a joint production.
Wow. Are they going to bring Lisa Whelchel back?
They should.
They should.
Are you a fan of Blair, Tevin?
No, but she was supposed to be on the show today and didn't call in, and we could have talked to her about this.
Lisa Whelchel who answers on you?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
What? How weird is that then? And that was in my notes. That is so strange.
She was on set.
She could have given us insight on the Facts of Life reboot.
So basically, I just learned she didn't call in because she was texting you. Is that what you're saying?
You stole our guest.
You stole our guest.
No,
Way
I
to
don't.
go.
So far, they haven't mentioned if any of the former casts will be joining the reboot. But come on, everyone wants a Tootie. Tootie was fabulous.
Tootie. I will tell you this. I consider myself to be very fortunate because, you know, when I was getting up at 4 o'clock or 3:30 in the morning, I couldn't stay up and watch the 9 o'clock shows or anything like that. So I didn't see any of them. And now catching up on all that stuff on this day is wonderful because I've never seen any of it. I mean, there's a lot of really good, like American Rust. I'm watching that right now. What a great show that is.
Yeah, and you can even go back and watch Facts of Life.
I could watch the Facts
And
of Life.
scream at every time Blair comes on the screen, like, how dare you?
That'd be the greatest. I just go silent. Then as soon as she's off camera, okay, return that body. There we go. We're all set.
Blair Warner, how dare she?
And look, I'm not mad about it because I don't blame them. If I didn't have to do all that work, I wouldn't do it either. And I think you're at the crossroads right now where they don't have to do a ton of interviews anymore.
Did you book directly with her or via a publicist or manager?
Publicist.
Yeah.
I'd follow up with a publicist because someone forgot to relay information, I bet, to Lisa.
Probably.
You think?
Yeah.
I
I'd
think
follow
it
up
was-
with the publicist.
I speculated she found out it was me and therefore said, forget it. I'm not doing that shit.
Nah.
All right,
We're all
Pally.
here. We're all
That's
here.
true. And always have been for about 95 years now. There's no
Tom.
question.
Without meeting each other in person.
Without ever meeting in person. That's exactly right. Good God, that's amazing. It really is. All right, we will talk to you tomorrow. The big wrap up of the week show tomorrow.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have some fun things to watch for the weekend.
Well, I'm waiting. That's all I have to say because you always have good suggestions.
I try.
You try.
I try.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Kristen Burt, Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So yeah, it's an interesting time in life now. Well, that's going to happen though, where everybody who has a computer has a show. Have you noticed that? And almost everyone on their computer has their own podcast, their own this, their own that. What are there now? About 250 million shows on the internet now?
Yeah, and there will be 250 million new ones in about 20 minutes because it seems like everybody you meet, they're like, you know, I have a microphone.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts. Why
Yep.
don't I start a podcast?
They all do. No question about it. And I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon.
Oh, no.
No.
But I will say by the same token, other than a few people, I don't really give a rat's ass if we ever have a guest again. I'd still like to have a few people on once in a while, but you know, it's not what it used to be. It's not as much fun as it used to be. Because even some of them, while you're interviewing them, you can tell they don't really want to be there.
No. Nobody wants to have fun anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good way to put it. They don't want to have fun anymore, so there you go. All right, you pills. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Wrap up the week, all right?
All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks. Bye.